Hey there, lesson 56 called Slope-Intercept form. Really important lesson. So far you've been graphing lines using t-charts and you've been figuring out slope with rise over run. If you get a equation that's written in this form, where it's labeled here slope-intercept equation like this, good news is you can do some really simple stuff. This means that you'll have y, of course, and x. Okay, we're used to that. But instead of substituting in values for that, if you can get it so that there's a constant here, that's the b, it's just a number, and m stands for the rise over run, or the slope. If you can get it to look like this format, then the interpretation is a little bit simpler. For example, if I had y equals 4x plus 1, that means that this is the y-intercept. So you start counting from here, and that's where it's going to cross y. And then this is the m, which is the slope. Rise, run, right? So that would mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you could actually draw a line from here through here. And I just did all that just by looking at it instead. So the m is the slope, and the b is where it crosses y, is where you count your rise and run from. So let's take a peek at how they did it on these examples. Here you have a slope of 1 and a slope of 2 over here. Y-intercept is 0, it's going through the origin. At plus 2, they counted starting from here, and 0 again through the origin. Down here, negative slope, you can tell because it's downward. Slope, or m, is down 1 over 2, or up 1 back 2, depending on if you make the top number negative or the bottom number negative. They're both going to be the same slope. You just count it just slightly differently. Zero slope, or undefined slope, right? And in those straight line cases, when it's a y equals, that means it's horizontal because we only know the y value, and the x could be anything. And an x equals, where you don't have a slope, you don't have anything else. Basically, if you don't have the slope or the y, that means you know it's -3, and then you go up because it could be any of these y values. Basically, kind of makes sense, right? Vertical line means you have an x. Horizontal line means you have only the y. So if you have something like y equals 2x minus 4, what's the m? The m is the slope. So that's this right here. Rise of 2, run of 3. Then what do we call the b? We would call this the b. Y-intercept. So where does it cross the y-axis? For a whole point, all you have to know is that's -4. That easy. Does the line rise to the right or fall to the right? Basically, is it a positive or negative slope? It's a positive slope, so it rises to the right because the slope right here, this m, has no negative signs. Okay? And then write the equations of lines A and B in slope-intercept form. So if you look at this, you know, okay, the b is 1 for A, so y equals +1, and the slope, we count up 1, forward 2. Up 1, forward. See, I think it's kind of fun to figure these things out. And in the other case, you always start at y equals mx plus b. The b for this one is right here, -2. So maybe I shouldn't write my plus too soon, because now I don't really want it. This is minus 2. And the slope, it's going to be positive again. 1, 2, 1. So it's 2 over 1, and we just write that as 2. Rise of 2, run of 1. Where does it intersect? At 2, 2, right? That's where it intersects, right there. I don't know if it asked that. Yeah, I guess it did. Where do A and B intersect? It's where they cross each other. So I think we've gone over how to graph these. You can look at example 3 some more if you're a little unsure of yourself. And this just takes practice getting used to it because we've learned different ways to do the same thing. Okay. Let's do B through I.